What's going on, everybody? KD for the Wealth Wells here. 3 tips to improving holds. One of the biggest problems I see with many day traders is that they have a problem letting their runners run, and they cut their runners too short, and they actually let their losers run. So we'll talk about how to manage the losers and cut the losers in another video. This video, people have asked me about this so much, and we really can't talk about it enough because it is an indication of a successful trader when you can start to improve your hold time. So I'm going to go over 3 tips very quickly with you here. So the first tip to letting your runners run, number 1 is you need key levels, period. No doubt about it. You need to understand where the stock is going. You need to understand what the target is. The reason most traders can't hold, in addition to the things listed on your screen, is that they don't have a target. They don't have key levels. So today we, traded very effectively in the Discord. We had some key levels. I'm going to review just a few of those key levels with you today to show you why I and others in the Discord was able to hold so effectively today to get those 100% wins and more. Now, today the Discord really did very well in this chippy action, and contrary to maybe other Discords or other traders, we were able to navigate this day in the waters of the chippy market very, very effectively. So if you want to check my levels at a high level, at a high view, you can watch my weekly prep. Now, I put a video out recently, just every Sunday at 8:15. We do a Zoom weekly prep, and I put that video out. You can go and look at that. It's right here, and I did a little training in there as well. If you just started day trading, watch this. This also has the levels there. So let's just take a look at that real quick then. So on the futures market, I specifically highlighted that I was watching 40.65, that there is an area of interest and a pool of liquidity here. I talked about a collar, I talked about a hedge, etc. Right? As we begin to move past this area, I believe that we would most definitely pull back, and the only way we would move past is if GDP and some other notable things came out in favor of market strength. If you want to know what those are, then go ahead and watch this video. You'll understand I listed about 5 things that we will be watching for the week. But here's the magic number for this trade for today was 40.65. Now we take, with that in mind, we go over to SPY. We look at SPY and we have key levels here on SPY. Now this is my training chart. These aren't the key levels, all of them. The key levels are posted in the Killer Wells channel every single day for everyone to see. Now here's the Killer Wells channel. Here's the call out. Let's see, let's go up a little higher here. Call out was, yes, inputs 1046. We trailed, and then we added more, and we began to just, basically work this trade here all the way down to the target all day. This trade ended up being about 150%, 100% by the time we got around to that 12 o'clock time frame, 12:15, and then we ended up, banking a little bit more. Some a little less, some a little more, depending on your entry. Either way, you can look inside of the channel here, and you can see where I posted that. Let me just click this here. We have a major level at 404.06, and this wasn't the only trade we took for the day, but this was the biggest trade we took for the day. Each time I came off this major level here, because of analyzing the market and understanding what was going on in the market, and we have a key level, I was able to short off here and put the call out live on the voice and in the chat to the Discord. So 1 trade short, 2 trades short, and then the 3rd trade here, when I saw added volume and pressure come in using the system called VVP, then we knew and I understood to hold long. Now, once I saw the breakdown, we were able to work this thing, keep running. You can see others puts 2 for 2 with runners, others making money 5 for 5. Right? People actually crushing this thing 2 for 2. I'm instructing slide to stop, still in the trade 1. Others crushing this thing, right, as we go, trailing it, helping people along, helping them along, let them know where the position is. Now, I had multiple positions in play. I was in a 0 DTE 40.50 put for SPX. The average cost was about $6.40. This contract ended up going as much as $16, but I scaled mostly out at around that $14, $15. So really just a solid trade. Now, the question is, how do we know when to exit? We knew when to enter here. What will we use to exit? Well, okay, well, we talked about it in our weekly prep. Go and watch the video for the weekly prep. We knew that there was a pool of liquidity here at 40.65 on the futures. So when the S&P reached these areas here, we expected some type of reaction. Whether we would eat through this volume or not, we don't know. We have to allow the market using VVP to tell us what it's going to do. But we know for a fact there's a key level up here, areas of interest and liquidity. Once we hit that area and we see the corresponding volume and price action kick in there, coupled with the other major levels, then we go for it. And then we take the trade. And if we don't get the continuation, we simply trail and then come back in once we get another indication that we're going to fade there. So this was really a nice, clean setup. Anyone who watched my YouTube video early in the week, anyone could have taken this trade, especially those who were inside of the killer whales, and you would have had a perfect entry. Now, if you want to verify what I'm saying to you, go ahead and watch this video from Sunday's weekly prep. I post them on YouTube after I do the private training and the private recap. Now, the YouTube videos won't have all of the sauce. It won't have all the goods. That's saved for those who are there live, and that's saved for those who are inside the killer whales. But you do have the levels. You do understand some levels. You do understand where we're going. So that's the first thing right there that you want to do. You want to make sure you do is you got to have key levels. No doubt about it. The number one question you need to ask yourself right before and while you're in the trade is where we're going. You don't know where we're going, so you cut yourself short. You don't know how to let your winners run. And when others are still winning in the trade, you can't understand why. That's number one. All right. Number two, you must understand market sentiment. All right. So in our weekly prep, again, if we go over here and come into the Discord, and if we go to I believe it was in the general chat there, and we scroll on up earlier in the week here, yeah, I posted major market moving events here, right? And some of those market moving events, I also, when I posted those events here, I also talked about them in our weekly prep. You can see that if you review the video. But we talked about consumer sentiment, we talked about GDP and some other things. So that helps us gauge, in addition to some other markers. Don't get me wrong, this isn't everything, right? This is going to be a short video, so I don't have the time to talk to you about everything. We use those markers to understand market sentiment. Market sentiment dictates the trend. You should watch this video so you can understand the difference between trading with the trend and trading with market sentiment. Now, if you want to understand how to take the trade right out the gate, because right out the gate, we took trades and were effective. This isn't about luck or chance. Then you're going to have to come into our Discord, click the link attached to the video somewhere, read the testimonials tab. You can see what folks are talking about, and it's all true. You can see how they're making profits. You can also take a sneak peek and look at the profits that we're making and others in Discord. It's not me, it's others as well. That's what we're excited about, the success of this Discord and folks, how they're crushing it and how they're getting better. Even folks that's taken our swing training, crushing this thing, folks who really are just small wins, big wins, it's all there. And then you can come and you can verify for yourself. You can trade on Monday and Friday with me. And I call out my trades and I post them as well. You can see the profits from today. 10K for the morning for just one or two trades there. Another trade, 2K. You can see it's all there, all verified. And I show you the screenshots. And at times we do ad hoc training and live. But the idea here is you're going to need to understand how to gauge market sentiment. Market sentiment is covered in training number 3, pre-market, where I talk to you and show you my exact pre-market prep routine so you can understand how to come to the conclusion on what the market is going to do. That's number 3. It's key. I'm sorry, that's number 2. It's key. Number 3, you need to kill fear and greed, folks. You need to kill, and I can't speak enough about this. You need to kill fear and greed. Here's the rub. It's going to take you some time. All right. Whether you are a new trader or an experienced trader, fear and greed is something you're always trying to stamp down. You're always trying to keep it at bay, but you're going to need to kill it. What is it? What do I mean by that? Well, here's what a fearful person does. A fearful person says, you know what? I don't really know what's going on in the market, and I'm just going to take my little scalps, and that's fine. And they end up with 20 or 30 trades in a day. They're paying a ton of commissions. That's not an effective trader. I'm not saying you can't take a set amount of trades or a lot of trades in a day, but the more trades you take, the higher the frequency for you to reduce your win percentage and or lose. That's just a reality, especially when you're getting started. An effective trader simply understands how long they're in a trade and where to hold to their targets, right? They understand market sentiment and they're not fearful. Now, let me give you a little tip. All right. I see this a lot with traders. And I see even in our Discord, all right? Even in our Discord, I see traders, they receive the call out, right? They'll get the call out, right? They understand, all right, Katie's in a trade, right? I'll even tell you many times here, I'm trailing it. They'll say, I'm out. I'm still holding. You see it right there. I'll tell you, I'm still holding this trade, right? Until it gets down to its absolute apex or the absolute point where I feel comfortable that we've hit our target, right? Which is, in this case, is going to be that 40.65 area there on ES. But what traders will do is, instead of just relaxing and understanding the overall direction, they'll keep chipping away at this thing. And has this ever happened to you? You're in and out, 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 in and out. And then eventually you get into a trade and you take a loss. Has that ever happened to you? You take a loss, or something else, kind of happens, and you lose another trade and another trade, and it's unnecessary losses. That's what I'm getting at. That's because you are fearful or you're greedy, and you don't know where we're going. You don't have key levels, and you don't understand market sentiment. These are 3 things you absolutely need to do to improve your holds. Let's recap. You need key levels, period. How do you get key levels? You have to understand a trading system called VVP. We talk about the key levels in training 1. You have to go down the stack. Number 2, understand market sentiment. How do you understand market sentiment? Do pre-market prep. That's covered in training number 3. If you don't get training from me, that's fine. Still understand how to gauge market sentiment. Watch this video, the difference between market sentiment and the trend, how to trade sentiment. And then number 3, which is the toughest one of all, I'll be honest with you, it's going to take you some time. You need to kill fear and greed. What helps killing fear and greed? Developing proper habits. Now, we have a secondary channel, the Wealth Wells Podcast. And in the Wealth Wells Podcast, we talk about these behaviors and what you need to do in order to hold, right? And so we put together go over to this channel here, the Wealth Wells Podcast, and just listen to the podcast. Nothing to see on your screen. Just plug it in your ear. Listen. The latest Mindset Mondays is a absolute diamond. It's entitled Erasing Poor Trading Habits. How? If you want to erase the poor trading habits that's linked to fear and greed, that's what you need to do. Listen to that recording there, or check out our podcast on your podcast platforms, Apple, YouTube, or Spotify. This has been 3 tips to improving holds, letting your winners run, getting max profit, 100% win today, going to the bank tomorrow. I'll see you guys later.